Hello, and thank you for using Payroll Connected. Before you log in, I want to give you guys a heads up that we've done a major update to the scheduler. It's been long overdue, and we're sure that you'll agree that these changes will make the scheduling even easier than ever before. The first thing you'll notice is that we've moved the sidebar to the top, and we've created the scheduler so that it works sort of like reading a book, where you start in the top left and work yourself to the right and down. You'll notice that the Submit Above Only button is not visible anymore. That's because all of the settings submit themselves automatically as soon as you select them. So that's one less step that you'll need to be doing. You'll also see that the scheduler is divided into three sections. First, adjust the shift settings. Next, set the shift duration. And then add the shift to the checked days, where you can select which days you want the shift to be applied to. First, we'll start with the top. You'll notice front and center that there's a button called Reset This Form, so that even if you have already entered some times down here, and let's say that you've already checked some boxes for the same shift for, and then you realize, whoops, this wasn't the right schedule at all, you can click on this button and we'll actually remove that information so you can start fresh. Other than that, you can start by setting your shift date, the department you want to schedule for, change the location if you need to, and also choose the employee. And just like that, you can see that it updates everything automatically as we go. Much nicer. There's also the optional shift length calculator. Now, for companies who want some help calculating how much time to schedule for, you can simply enter in the total number of hours for the period, and we'll give them more, we'll give them 80, and the number of days that they worked. 10 days. It will automatically calculate the length of each shift, of course full 8-hour days there. It will also automatically put that time in the shift length field down here, more about that later, and it will also automatically select the number of days that you have chosen to schedule the employee for. Here we have a schedule for 10. And if we wanted to change it to be a full block, for instance, we can remove this last checkbox here, and you'll see that it automatically counts how many checkboxes you have checked, and then add it up here for our full block. And then when we click on Add Shift to Checked Days, it would add an 8-hour shift to all these days. The next section is, of course, the Set Shift Duration. Now, the first thing I'm going to mention, because this is really important, is that the decimal place no longer indicates hours from minutes. This would actually show up as a fraction of an hour. So instead of 5 hours and 50 minutes, this would actually be entered as 5 hours and 30 minutes, or 0.5 of an hour. You can still enter in minutes using the numeric pad alone by using a / instead. So in this case, it would enter it in as 5 hours and 50 minutes. So this becomes basically like a semicolon. And we do this simply because it's inconvenient always reaching for the semicolon. And since there's other keys on the number pad that we could use, we chose the front slash. And then simply enter in the rest of your shifts. For instance, we can go to 8 o'clock and maybe have a break until 8:30. And then we'll end the shift at 10 o'clock a.m. And you'll notice that there's another field here called shift length. So whereas before you could just enter the number of hours in the end time field, now instead, if you want to use that feature, you can just enter the amount in the shift length field. So to do that, you first have to make sure that there aren't any times entered into the actual shift length, since we're not interested in doing start times and end times. And then in the shift length field, I'm just going to enter a time of 7/30. And that will give us a shift length of 7 hours and 30 minutes. And then when you click on Add Shift to Checked Days, once again it would start at midnight and create a shift going until 7:30 a.m. And the last little bit I'll mention is the Add Shift to Checked Days section. You'll see that we now can schedule for up to 6 weeks at a time. This will be a real time saver, especially for companies that like to schedule a month at a time. You will also see that whatever day you have currently selected in the shift date up here is now highlighted in green, so you can easily see what day you're scheduling for. And you'll notice this yellow date here. This is a statutory holiday, so now you can easily see what days are the statutory holidays as well. So you can either schedule for them or avoid scheduling for them. The checkboxes have been doubled in size, so that it makes it easier to not only click on, but also tap on if you're using a tablet or smartphone. Now, this double size works for most internet browsers, but not all. So if you're in one of the ones that doesn't, for instance, Safari, I believe, the checkbox will be a regular size. And one last thing that I'll mention is the new employee view modifications. So down here we have our filters, of course, and if we click on employee view, it changes to the employee view. Of course, it automatically sets the view shifts for filter to one employee since it only shows you one employee at a time. But one of the nice new changes that we have is that you can edit or delete shifts directly from the employee view. So for instance, if we click on edit, it once again notifies you that the shift has been deleted and brings all the information into the scheduler for you to adjust. Then simply make whatever changes you want. In this case, we'll change it to 6:30. And then you can add shift to check days once again to save the change. And just like that, that's everything to know about the new scheduler. We hope that you enjoy it, and of course we always welcome your feedback. You can let us know what you think of it and what features you'd like to see simply by clicking on Contact Payroll Connected, or email our support, or give us a call. Thank you for using Payroll Connected.